Hey, it's Jennifer Anderson, your favorite Scentsy girl. I need to make sure you can hear me okay, so hopefully someone can come on and tell me that you can hear me, because when I set my phone down, sometimes people can't hear me. So if you're on, say hi so I know who it is, and tell me that you can hear me. And if you're watching the replay, just comment replay so I know if you're who's seen this. Can you guys hear me? Can you just give me like a thumbs up if you can? Oh, good. Okay, listen. So I'm outside. Katie, you are so sweet to me. Thank you. I love you. Fellow boss lady, Katie Farner. I'm so glad you guys can hear me, and hopefully you can hear my wind chimes. I just got wind chimes, you guys. I've been wanting wind chimes for years. I love wind chimes. I just love being outside and like living outside and being outside like as much as I possibly can. And so I've always wanted like really fabulous wind chimes. And so actually, let me just show you how cute they're just hanging on the back of my chair right now, but they're like teal and blue and slate and white. Okay, boom. Can you still hear me now that I repositioned my phone? Hopefully you can hear me okay. So listen, I do not come live on my personal page very much because, let's be real, it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary. And I go live on my team page like all the time. Well, sort of all the time, but I do like live trainings with my team all the time where I'm talking and like people get to see, you know, the real me and like what it's really like and what I think and how I feel and all of that stuff. So I don't come live on my own personal page very much, but like I literally can't take it anymore. And so I had to come live and just do a video because a post wasn't right and a picture wasn't right and there were no words that I could say. And you're probably like, what is she freaking out about? Guys, like, I gotta tell you something though, for real. So our world is absolutely bananas right now. Bananas. And I don't watch the news ever. I don't even, we don't have cable and I don't even subscribe to the news channels. So if I know anything of the news, it's like what's going on Facebook. And even I try and stay away from that. Like I have to protect my heart and my brain, and you know, being like watching the news isn't good for my heart and my brain, and watching the news isn't good for like my anxiety and like all of that. So I try not to even watch the news, seriously. And so that might make me ignorant, but like I'm cool with it. I'm totally cool with it because I gotta live in like this happy bubble of my world, and I have to protect my daughter and my heart and my brain. And like I run a business, so I gotta make sure my brain is right and my mind is right, and I gotta have a good mindset and stay positive, and like, so that's where I'm at. And if you think I'm crazy or ignorant or dumb for not watching the news, that's cool, but you don't pay my bills and you don't live with me and I'm not married to you. So as much as I love you, I'm fine with it. Because I truly, you know, something I've learned over the years is that, and I really believe this, and I try and teach my team this, and I try and teach the people that I mentor this, is that there's only two people's opinions of you that matter. And the first one is God's opinion of you. And you know what? To be honest with you, God's opinion of you never, ever, ever changes. It's always the same. He always loves you, and there's nothing that you could ever do to make him not love you more. And there's nothing you couldn't do to make him not love you. And there's nothing you could do to make him love you less or love you more. And there's nothing you couldn't do to make him love you less or love you more. His opinion of you never changes. You are his child, and he created you, and he desires good things for you, and he desires for you to live in communion with him, and that's it. So God's opinion of you never ever changes. The only other person's opinion of you that should ever matter would be your spouse if you're married. If you're not married, it's no one else. It's just God's. And if you are married, it's your spouse. Your spouse's opinion of you matters. You know, and because that's what marriage is. Marriage is not, you know, like, screw you, I don't care what you think. Like, marriage is a partnership, and marriage is being together. And so those are the only two people's opinions of you that matter. But honestly, It's not your kids' opinion of you. It's not your parents, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, any of those things. Like, two people's opinions of you that matter. Number one is God, and number two is your spouse if you're married. And if you're not married, it's just God's. And God's opinion of you never changes. So if you're so concerned about what other people think of you, then like, let that go, man. Let that go, because that's going to eat you alive, and that's going to ruin your brain and ruin your heart and ruin your mind. Like, let it go. Okay? So that's free. That was a gift. That was a little sermon gift. But here's what I can't take anymore, okay? Our world is crazy. Our world is bananas. Our world is nuts. And I can't take any more people saying like, woe is me, or like, this is happening to me. We cannot control what happens to us. We can't control what happens around us. We can't control what other people do. You know what we can control? We can control a couple things. We can control our own actions and reactions, okay? And we can also control, I think people don't understand this, but we can also control what we allow in our life. So you might think this is harsh, but if you are broke, it's because you're allowing that to happen in your life. And if you are rich, it's because you are allowing that to happen in your life. Being broke and being rich are both choices, friends. And we can control what we allow to happen in our life and what we allow to speak into our life or be in our life. And that does include your financial situation too, okay? You can control what you allow. Take it from someone. Most of you don't know my story. A lot of my team knows my story, but before I found Sensi and before I married my husband, I was actually $30,000 in debt, personal debt. I was in debt. I come from a mindset of like, I can't afford that, or I'm broke, or I won't be able to ever do that. And I grew up like that. I grew up in that kind of mindset. I grew up in that kind of way where people said things like, oh, I can't have that, or oh, I can't afford that. And that used to be my first answer for a lot of things. And I would see things that I'd want, and I'd immediately tell myself, like, that's not for me, or I can't have that, or I'll never be able to afford that, or I can't stay on a vacation. And it's almost like a prejudice in a backwards way against people who change their life, and people who change their situation, and people who take care of things, and people who pay off debt, and people who can afford things. But I want you to know something, that people who are in that situation are there because they chose it. And people who are in that situation where they can afford things and can have nice things and can do what they want, and they have the freedom to say yes, and they have the ability to buy a safe car or live in a safe neighborhood or go on a vacation or save, it's because they chose that. And it's because that's what they allow in their life, and they're not accepting any other standard for that. So I come from a place of $30,000 in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, being super broke, never being able to say yes, and in fact always having to say like, no, that's not for me. No, I can't afford that. No, oh, like, I'll never have that, or oh, must be nice for them. Oh, they drive a Mercedes, must be nice. And it's, you know what? It's terrible. It's almost like a prejudice. Okay? It's almost like that people who have money or make good choices are bad or wrong. And you might not identify with this at all, but maybe you do. That's the life that I grew up in. That's the life that I come from. And I come from a place of thinking that someone who has nice things or has money or has freedom, like, and somehow, like, it's been handed to them, or that must be really nice, good for them. Like, and it's almost like a snootiness in a way, in a backwards way. And it's wrong. It's wrong. Because you know what? People that have that, it's because they chose it. And people that don't have that, it's also because they chose it. Despite what's happening in the world, we still live in the land of opportunity. You still have the opportunity to change your situation. You still have the opportunity to change your future, and you still have the opportunity to change your life, your family's life, what you allow, what you don't allow, and it all starts with you and what you will allow in your life or what you won't. It's all about what you will settle for and what you will accept or what you won't. And frankly, I had come to a point in my life where I decided that I wasn't going to settle for that anymore, and I wasn't going to allow that anymore. So I am now debt-free. I am no longer a slave to credit cards or people calling me or being afraid to answer the phone because it's a debt collector. I am no longer a slave to having to drive a certain type of car or live in a certain neighborhood or only be able to wear clothes from a certain store. I'm no longer a slave to that because I chose that I was not going to settle for that anymore. And I want you to know the whole point of this video, what I'm sharing with you, is because you don't have to settle for that either. That doesn't have to be your life. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. You don't have to come from a place of, oh, that's not for me, or it must be really nice for them, but I'll never have that. That does not have to be your reality. That doesn't have to be the way that you roll. That doesn't have to be what your life looks like. That doesn't have to be what you allow. Your life, your future is completely up to you. And at some point, someone told me this and it struck a chord. And you know what? No one is coming to rescue you. You are your own rescue. Okay? And I'm not speaking in a spiritual sense. You are not your own rescue in a spiritual sense. Jesus is your rescue, and that's it. But in your life, in your financial situation, and your future, no one is coming to rescue you. You're not going to win the lottery. Your life isn't going to fall into place one day. Things aren't going to just magically work out. No one is coming to save you. You are your own rescue. You are the only one who can change the game. You are the only one who can decide what you allow in your life or not. You, and you alone, it's up to you. So if you're broke, it's up to you to fix it. No one's going to do that for you. You're not going to find a sugar daddy. You're not going to find a sugar mama. You're not going to win the lottery. Change the game. Change your choices. Change your mind. Change what you decide you deserve. Change what you decide that you'll allow. Change what you decide you're worth. I can't take it anymore when I see people live a life of struggle, but whether you think so or not, that's by choice. Because living a life of freedom and living a life of not struggling is also by choice and is a result of intentional hard work and serious actions. It's a conscious decision to not allow that kind of crap to control you. Fix your mind. That's right. Fix your mind. You must fix your mind. I teach my team all the time. I say it all the time, and I really mean it. Every battle you ever face is won or lost in your mind. I truly, truly believe that. That's where it all begins. That's where it all starts. And even your battle of struggle, or your battle of your mind, or your battle of who you will allow in your life, or how you allow someone to treat you, or how you allow yourself to feel about yourself, or about what you deserve, or where you live, whatever. It's all starts in your mind, and deciding what you're worth, deciding what you will allow. Okay? So listen, I need you to hear me that I can't hear that anymore, and I can't deal with that anymore, and I don't really want to have people in my life that have that kind of mindset of like, oh, I'll never have that. Oh, that's not for me. Oh, I can't get that. Yeah, you can. So stop selling yourself short. If you're not having that, it's because you're choosing that. If you're not having that, it's because that's what you're settling for. And frankly, my mind, my heart, my brain, my family's future is too valuable for me to allow someone like that, or that kind of mindset, to be in my circle. My future, my family's future, the generations to come after me, and their mindset is way too valuable for me to risk it by being surrounded by people who have that kind of mindset. So if you have people like that in your circle, guys, It's time to change your circle. It's time to change your circle. And sometimes you have family members that are like that. Sometimes it's a spouse. Okay? You got to change your circle if that's the case. I mean it. And that might sound harsh, but guess what? It's all about choices and what you allow and don't allow. Have you heard a theme today? What you allow and what you don't allow. Being broke is a choice. Being rich is a choice. It's all about what you will allow yourself to have. So let me tell you, when I found Scentsy 9.5 years ago, first of all, let's be real. I can't imagine that I've been with Scentsy almost 10 years, almost a decade. I've never done anything that long except for be married. Truly, I was a job hopper. Like, I have tried. If you saw my resume, you'd be like, you did all that? And I did all that like 10 years ago. So by the time I was 25, I did so many things. And I was like super successful in all of them. I was always really great at all of it. Top of the whatever. Like, I always did really great. And then I found Scentsy and Scentsy's home. And I found my calling and I found my passion. And I found that through Scentsy, I have the opportunity to help others change their lives. And by doing that, my life in turn changes. Which is amazing, because there's no other thing you could do in this world that would be like that. Nothing. Everything else that you ever do in this world is about you, get to the top, take you, to go alone. Like, it's all about this rat race and like who can eat who. I mean, seriously, that's what everything is like. So the fact that I've found Scentsy and have the opportunity to help other people change their life, and I can take other people to the top with me, and I can help people build businesses and do things bigger and greater than I ever could, and then my life in turn just happens to find success, is really, really beautiful. And I found home. But what Scentsy did is Scentsy taught me that there's another option. Okay? Scentsy taught me that there's another option. And you know what? Before I found Scentsy, I never knew that there was another option. And I'm going to be real talk with you right now, and I really want you to listen to me. This is serious. Our whole lives, we are taught, go to school, go to college, get a job, work for someone else, have someone else sign your paycheck, and the way you get ahead is by working really hard. You work 60 hours a week, you work 80 hours a week, you work yourself to the bone, you pick up extra jobs, you blah, 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 blah. That's what we're taught. That's what we're taught is the way that you get ahead. You save in your 401k and you do all these traditional things. That's what we're taught is the way you get ahead. Scentsy showed me that there's another way to live. And when I mean another way to live, I mean life-changing income that is way more than I could have ever fathomed, but also way more than I could ever earn by working a 60 to 80 hour a week job and having someone else sign my paycheck. Not only that, financial freedom, but also freedom in the sense of, like, I can put my business on hold to spend time with my daughter, or go get my hair done in the middle of the day, or I can pack up tomorrow and say, hey, let's go to the beach for several days, because I can take my business with me. Also, I've worked really hard for the last decade to build a business that gives me this kind of freedom. I can send my daughter to whatever school she wants to go to. I can buy whatever kind of house I want to buy. I can drive whatever car I want to drive. And it's not about having those things, but it is about having the ability to say yes if I want to. It is about having freedom. It is about not having someone tell me that I have to self-quarantine because I went somewhere and I can't come to work and I have to take that time unpaid. It is about having the freedom to not have to ask someone to go to the bathroom or take a break, or when can I take my lunch hour, or have to clock in at a certain time or clock out. It is about having the freedom to work in my pajamas or put makeup on if I want to, or don't if I don't. It is about having the freedom to go hiking with my daughter in the middle of the day, or work when she's napping, or get up at 5:30 if I want to, or stay up until 2:30 in the morning. That's what it's about. It's about freedom. It's about choices. It's about having the ability to say yes if you want to. And I need you to hear me, and I need you to understand that when you don't have the ability to say yes if you want to, that's life in prison. That's a self-inflicted prison. That is a prison that you have created and allowed for yourself. That's not freedom. Working for someone else is not freedom. Having someone else sign your check is not freedom. And I'm not telling you that you have to be self-employed, and I'm not telling you that you have to start a Scentsy business, even though you should, and you should let me help you, because I will teach you everything I know. If you really want to learn, I will teach you everything I know, because I'm not afraid of sharing anything with you, because there are no secrets to success. I will teach you what I know, and I'm not afraid of sharing things with you, because statistically, everyone that I share things with, not everyone's going to do the things that they need to do to be successful anyway. And I know that from experience, because people quit. People give up. People are afraid of hard work. I'm not afraid to share with you how I've built my business and how I've gotten to where I've gotten. I'm not afraid to share that with you. I'm not afraid of competition. I'm not afraid of everyone swooping in, taking my, there's plenty of room at the top for all of us. And I'm not versed in any other companies, but in Scentsy, there is plenty of room at the top for all of us. Orville, that's our owner, he calls it like a campfire, and the campfire is Scentsy, and we're all around the campfire. And the bigger the campfire grows, and the more people that join Scentsy, we just step back and step back and step back, and our circle gets bigger, and there's plenty of heat for everyone. Trust me, there's plenty of heat for everyone. Because you know what? I've been doing this for almost a decade, and I still meet people every day who've never heard of Scentsy, or who've never tried it, or love it but can't find a consultant, or who have been abandoned by their consultant because their consultant left. Well, guess what? I'm not going to leave. That is a secret to success. You don't quit. You don't abandon anyone. You don't give up, even if times are hard. You have in your life what you allow. And if you've been allowing anything other than freedom and choices and the ability to say yes, and you think it's time for a change, then let me help you. Let me help you. Let me show you what real freedom can really be. I didn't even know that there was another option until I found Scentsy. Trust me, I didn't even know that there was another way to live. I just thought you live in debt. You have credit cards. You pay bills until you die. You pay your mortgage until you die. I didn't even know that paying off your mortgage was a thing and not having a mortgage payment. I'm here to tell you it's a thing. I'm speaking from experience. Let me tell you, I didn't even know it was an option. I didn't even know there was another way to live. But there is. You can pay off your mortgage and not have a mortgage payment. You can go pay cash for a car. You can go pay cash for a house. Bro, you don't have to live the way you've been living. You don't have to settle for what you've been settling for. You don't have to accept all the things that you've been accepting and allowing in your life. There is another way. There is a different option. Join me. Let me help you. Let me teach you what I know. I am here to serve. I am here to show people how to be successful in their own right, whatever that is. Because guys, I can't take it anymore. I will not watch you struggle anymore. I will not watch you settle for less than the best. I will not watch you allow less than you deserve in your life. There is another way. You don't have to live this way anymore. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to have someone else be in control. That's not freedom, guys. Working for someone else is not freedom. Having someone else sign your paycheck is not freedom. Being in debt is not freedom. As long as you have debt, you will be a slave. You will be a slave. Okay? Me and my husband, we do Scentsy full time. This is all we do. Just retired my husband from his career in corporate America from his 6-figure job. Okay? Also, let me tell you this. I'm going to leave you with this. Like I said, when I found Scentsy 9.5 years ago, I was $30,000 in personal debt and didn't know that there was any other way to live. I had credit card debt. I had student loan debt. I had poor choices debt. And then things would go into collections and it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And my credit was trashed, absolutely trashed. Today, because of hard work, intentionality, living below our means, never quitting, never giving up, my credit score is in the excellent range. And we built our dream home that I'm sitting in right now. I'm sitting on the porch. We built our dream home and purchased this dream home on my credit and my income. My husband was not even employed when we bought this house. My credit, my income. That's it. This house, my name is on the deed. My name. Your girl who comes from nothing, who had $30,000 in credit card debt, who had absolute poop credit and no one would even give her a credit card for $200. Your girl's name is on the deed. Your girl's name is how we bought this house. My income, my credit, bought this house. I just need you to know that. You can change. Let me also say my husband is freaking amazing, and he has provided so well for us over the last decade and helped set us up for serious success. And he has made such smart financial decisions, and it's because of him that my mindset completely changed, and he taught me what could really be, and he taught me about money and how to manage money well and what I was settling for, and that those temporary things that you want, like a coffee here or a shirt there or a car, those things, like, those are really at the end of the day, they're not going to add up to your name being on the deed of your dream house. My husband taught me don't settle, don't trade what you want most for what you want at the moment. What you want at the moment is to spend money on that coffee or that car payment or that shirt or that thing that you think you need, but do not trade what you want most for what you want at the moment. I promise you it's not worth it. So I cut my spending. I became conservative. I worked incredibly hard. I lived well below my means. We did that together. We now have rental properties that provide income. We now have freedom. Neither one of us have a traditional job. We only work this Scentsy business, which has been a life-altering experience. And it's all about choices and what you allow. You get to choose. So if you're ready for a different life, let me help you. Because I've been there and I know what it's like. And you don't have to do that no mo. I love you. Have a great day.